want to go into I want to become a bit more philosophical. All right, so let's have a look. So what does the word retirement mean? So I went and I know what the word retirement means. I've been in the industry for a long time. But then I thought, let me go back and let's go and simplify things. So according to the Oxford Dictionary, they say it's the act or the fact of leaving one's job and ceasing to work. All right, quite straightforward. Nothing to it. Excuse me. Then if you go one step further, according to Wikipedia, retirement is the withdrawal from one's position or occupation or from one's active working life. A person may also semi-retire by reducing working hours or workload. That's quite important to where we are getting to now as well. Many people choose to retire when they are old or incapable of doing their job due to health reasons. A very important another fact that we are going to touch on. People may also retire when they are eligible for private or public pension benefits, although some are forced to retire when bodily conditions no longer allow the person to work any longer. So by illness or by accident, and that's also a very important thing, that accident factor is that unforeseen circumstances. So it's part of the things that, you know, it's things in your life you need to mitigate. It's things in your life that you need to plan for. It's that unforeseen things, or as a result of legislation concerning their positions. All right. And then I went one step further and then I asked, so what is the purpose of retirement planning? And this, ladies and gentlemen, was quite interesting. So retirement, in a general sense, is the time of life when you no longer need to work to live comfortably. All right. And can rely on savings or a passive forms of income to fund your lifestyle. Retirement and the term financial independence are often used interchangeably, and that's according to Google. So everybody's perception about retirement is different, but now there's actually two aspects when it comes to retirement. So when it comes to retirement, it's your living expenses, being able to be financially free. How can you still live the same sort of lifestyle? People are living longer. So if you do retire at the normal South African required age of 65, a lot of people would like to retire, I'm sure, a lot earlier and start traveling and all those type of things. But, you know, can you afford a traveling lifestyle for the next 20, 25, 30 years, you know, as people are living longer? And you might be, and COVID has also shown that to us. COVID is, you know, with all of the negatives and the heartache and everything that COVID brought, it also opened up our eyes in a lot of aspects. And the one thing that COVID opened up our eyes to is the fact that things can change in a blink of an eye. Whether it is with regards to your financial position, with regards to your income, with regards to your livelihood, life can change drastically. And that's what makes it so important, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure that you don't cover only the financial aspect when you planning retirement. You know, what's my passive income going to be? How am I going to get a passive income? Is my passive income going to come from a pension fund? Is my passive income going to come from rental income from all of the properties I've accumulated over my lifetime? Is it going to be from my company? Maybe you've established a very successful company and, you know, you can sit back and earn an income still from that. How many people are actually in that fortunate position? So that's the one element that you need to cater for when it comes to the retirement side. And then the second thing is going to be, where are you going to retire? So a lot of my clients have got the aspiration that they would like to retire at the coast. They don't want to retire in Gauteng. They don't want to retire in whichever province you feel comfortable with. But at the end of the day, when you do get to retirement, as life changes, aspirational changes, kids' situation changes, grandkids' situation changes. I've got so many clients who moved to the coast to go and retire. They bought a place down at the coast to be able to open the doors every day and look at the ocean and, you know, have that breeze and do the maintenance every year of their coastal properties and so forth. But what happened to life? Life changed as well. And they had to, I've got so many clients who relocated back to Joburg or back to Gauteng. Why? Because the kids are here, the grandkids are here, everybody is here, and people can't afford to fly up and down again every month, having the grandparents see the grandchildren. Life changes. So what we are saying is that make provision to make sure that if you plan on doing something way down in the future, start making provision for it right now already. If that provision's changes in the future, you've already made provision for it long ago, and it's much easier from a financial aspect to maybe change your situation then. You can always sell the property. If you bought a property now in Gauteng, let's say you think you're going to be retiring in Gauteng. That's maybe your initial idea of thinking, because the kids are here and the grandkids are here and all those type of things, and we've seen that as well. So maybe you plan on retiring in Gauteng. Now you buy a retirement property because you love the estate. You make sure you get in early. You pay the price of now, not in the future, and you maybe intend to move in much later in your life. And then much later in your life, the kids all of a sudden goes over to overseas. Now, as soon as the kids are overseas, that aspect of having, the kids close by and not being able to retire at the coast also disappears. So now you can go and retire at the coast, but because you bought a property so long in advance, now your situation's changed. You can sell the property that you've got, you make a good profit on it and go and buy that property at the coast. But if you decide to only buy the property at the coast when you want to go and retire, it might have a big financial implication on your pocket. Not might, it will definitely have. All right, so let's quickly have a look at a few statistics. So how crucial is the planning for retirement? So 67% of people do not have any form of retirement plan. 77% of people accept that they will need to continue earning an income after retirement. So that goes back to the beginning, where that definition actually told us that you can semi-retire, and still continue a bit working. Excuse me, continue working a bit so that you still generate a bit of an income. 53% of people do not know how much their pension is actually worth. So they've started investing. Somebody sold them a pension plan or an investment plan or a provident fund or whatever the case might be, but they don't actually know what is it worth. Is it worth enough by the time that I actually retire? How much is R1 million worth today, which is not even much anymore as well, but how much is it going to be worth in 5 or 10 years from now? How much is R5 million going to be worth? What is living conditions and life expectancy going to be going forward? How long will you be living? Will your savings be enough? 62% of people lack the trust, the confidence, and the knowledge when it comes to investing their money. 72% of people are concerned that they will not have enough money saved for their retirement. All right. And that goes almost hand in hand with the 53% of people that doesn't know how much their pension is actually worth. And here's the most shocking statistic, ladies and gentlemen. 6% of people in South Africa can afford to retire carefree. So what does that mean? It means that they've made provision for where they would like to retire. So preferably the property where they want to retire is paid off. They don't have a bond repayment on 65 still of 20,000 Rand a month, 15,000 Rand a month, whatever the case might be. They bought the property early for the intention, had a tenant help them pay it off, and now they can go and retire financially free in their retirement unit. But then the other side of it is your pension, your permanent income. So have you invested in property? How many properties have you got that is now also paid off, that's generating this positive income for you? How big is the pension fund? What's the provision that you made during your lifetime to make sure that now you've sorted out your retirement property? Now you need to think about the monthly expenses. So think about medical aid, ladies and gentlemen, because preferably by the time that you retire, your car is paid off, that you've got, your house is paid off that you're going to be living in. And now you want to sit back, you want to travel, you want to relax, you want to enjoy life for the next 20, how many ever years going into retirement. So now you need to think about medical aid. You're still going to have medical aid. If your medical aid currently is 10,000 Rand a month maybe, and it's a good medical aid, what is it going to be in 30 years from now? If you are 35 now and you are paying a medical aid of let's call it 5,000 Rand a month, in 30 years from now, what is the medical aid for you going to be? What is the medical aid going to be for you and your wife if you're a couple that still moves into your retirement phase? Those are the things that you need to think about. What is your plan for income by the time of retirement?